Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. What I've got here is some of these laminated perfume bottles, which you may have seen in my X-Piles series where I stumbled across them. And to be honest, I couldn't even then really remember what I'd actually done them for, but I'd printed them off obviously and laminated them. So I've got these here obviously on the laminated sheet. And then what I've brought along is a bunch of different papers, all quite thick. So these are all on kind of like 230 GSM and upwards, including here a sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And I thought, let's just make some little paper clips from them. And then that's a whole sheet of the laminated pieces that I will have got through and used up. Now, I'm wondering what way is best to do these. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got these couple of bits, which are just stamped postcards on index cards. And all I'm going to do is just fold these in half, which I'm hoping will then be enough to fit over the top of a perfume bottle, if you see what I mean. So I've got here my square punch. Now I'm now looking and thinking, oh, that's going to be too big. Oh dear, this is not good, is it? It's going to be too big. Let me just see. I've got an oval punch somewhere. Okay, right, let's put in the oval punch and see whether that might be better. So this is a 3-inch oval punch. Just check this out. Oh my goodness, that's also going to be huge on there. Oh, this is not going very well, is it? So let me just place this over here. Oh, I see. Yeah, it is quite, it is quite big. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is we'll come back to the index cards because I don't appear to have bought the right size punches along. So what I might do is just take the index card here and then cut around it, but going slightly wider, slightly bigger, to make a bigger base that's going to work with the punches that I've got. So it's called rolling with the punches. Oh my goodness, what a lame joke, honestly. It's probably what they call a mum joke, isn't it? But yeah. Right, okay, so that's my base piece. And then I'm just going to fold that in half. Oops. Fold that in half like that. Okay, so now what I want to do is just make my oval. Now I'm hoping that this, now being a bit bigger, is going to be fitting in here better. So let's have a look. Oh my goodness, this is like really touch and go. Now I'm thinking this is not going to be very central in here, but who knows. Oh, I'm not very good at this. I'm mucking this up, to be honest. Right. Okay, well, I'm trying to look through and see. I'm hoping that this is roughly in the middle of that piece. Okay, well, it's gone a little bit further over to, you know, one side than the other. But, I mean, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so, I mean, what I could do is even, like, fold it slightly more over if I want to. Oops, like that. Because I'm hoping that I'm going to stitch around these on the sewing machine. So I need to have enough to actually get round on the sewing machine. So, I mean, this is where, of course, people who measure are going to obviously be much better at this type of thing than me. Right, there we go. So I've just got enough now to be able to go around the sewing machine. And then all I will do is pop this here and find a perfume bottle that's going to look cute with this. So, I mean, that one looks quite nice, doesn't it? So let's just take that. And I'm just going to cut that off of that sheet. Like that. Okay. Whoops. Like that. And then I'm not over keen on the back of this, which is of course that green, because this was a 12 by 12, a double-sided 12 by 12, so I'm just not that keen on that background paper. So I brought along my scraps envelope. So let's just see what scraps I've got in here that might be nicer. So I've got a few. Okay, got this one. This might be too purple. Let's have a look. I mean, that is very purple, but actually I quite like it, weirdly enough. Yeah, I quite like that. So, right, let's put this down. I'm just going to glue this in to the back. So I think probably the easiest way to do this is just literally glue it straight down onto here. Okay. Right, put that down there. Okay, smoosh that down. Right, I'm just going to trim around this now. And then across here. And then just trim down, you know, at my side bit there. There we go. Now, I have got a bit of an overlap there, but that's fine. You know, I think that will work out okay. And then this, I'm just going to take in this edge slightly because it wasn't quite central in the oval. So, oops, like that. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and just literally stitch around where that oval shape is. I might have to stitch around at the top as well. And then what I will do is stitch around on 3 sides so that this would be, oops, oh my goodness. So this would be then a top loading pocket there. And then we'll transform these into a paper clip. So all I'm going to do is just make my few bases now. So I'm going to just take another one and I'm just going to use that same method. So I'm just going to fold around, or cut around perhaps I should say, again here. Now I'm using this because this is thickish paper and I thought what a great way to be using this scrapbooking paper that I've obviously had for years and hoarded. So obviously you don't have to use scrapbooking paper, you can use anything and you can use any thickness. I would recommend personally something thicker, so you know, hence I'm using this. But if you don't have anything thicker, then you know, give it a try with some thinner paper. I don't know how that would be, but definitely worth giving a try, isn't it? So again, going to now punch my oval. Well, let's hope I make a better job of it this time. Right, okay, so pop that in now. Oh dear. Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of okay. Right, we shall see. Probably mucked it up again, but it worked out okay. Right, okay, that one's a bit better. So we have got a little bit more in that side than that side, but you know, I think that's okay. So like that, and then let's find a perfume bottle again that matches this. I think that pink one looks pretty good. Or actually maybe that one. Oh, maybe that one, yeah. Okay, so again, just going to cut this down. So take it like that. And oops. Like that. So, and again, what I want to do is cover that back because I just don't like that green background. I've just about got enough to use the lilac. Now, do I like the lilac? I mean, weirdly, I now think, oh, perhaps the green looks better. This is a little bit wonky where I've put it in the laminate, so I just need to cut it down here, if you see what I mean. So go off slightly so that when that goes in there, I can then stitch that straight, if that makes sense. So I'll stitch around there, again, across that top piece while it's open, like that, and then close it and stitch around the 3 sides. So, yeah, like that. Do we like it with that back, or do we want a different back? I mean, maybe not that purple, actually. Maybe I've got a different, let me see what other... What about some of this? This from my Love Collection paper. Maybe that. Yeah, that's not bad. So perhaps we'll have a bit of this. So just take that and put that down. Okay. Now I'm going to come unstuck in a minute because I think the other perfume bottles are too small for such big ovals. So this is where now I'm going to have to try and improvise with the oh gosh, what do you call it? You know, the size of the holes that I'm punching out. So yeah, I might be sorry here because we might not be able to actually kind of like do it, but let's see. There we go. So that goes in like that. Yeah, that looks pretty, doesn't it? So again, just going to quickly trim this down around the rectangle. Okay. So this is quite good for using up some scraps and things because, you know, the pieces of paper that we're actually using are not particularly big, are they? And aren't they just gorgeous? They're really, really nice, aren't they? So let's do another one now. Let me just pull in the perfume bottles and just see how I'm going to do this because, right, I might be able to do it for these top ones. Yeah, I might just get away with a couple more of the ovals on the top. So let's just see the papers that I've brought along. So we could have this Paris collection, which unfortunately I've coffee dyed this and you can probably see it's gone really, really, really bright yellow. Sometimes this happens with the photo quality paper, is it sometimes goes really kind of turmeric-y coloured, which not ideal really, but you know, it just sometimes does do that. So I'm going to take it here like that, and again just going to cut around this a little bit bigger than the index card itself. Yeah, bit of a tip really, to be honest. If you're using photographic paper that tends to go a little bit kind of bright yellow like this has, like a sort of turmeric type colour, when you're coffee dyeing it, try and make your coffee way less strong because then it's not going to do that quite so much. Now, obviously, famous last words because I haven't done that, but it was just kind of, I happened to have a batch of coffee dye, didn't even really think, and yeah, then mistakenly kind of sorry, I'm just deciding which side to use up here. Then mistakenly, obviously, coffee dyed it, and before I knew it, it was really bright. Right, I'm just deciding which side is going to look better on here. That side or that side. Oh my goodness, they both look quite pretty, actually. They both look pretty, but I think I'm going to go with this side. Right, now, this might be a bit tricky because it's not very straight, but let's put that there. No. Okay, and my gosh, it's very hard to see in there. I mean, wow, I mean, that was more luck than judgment that it just happens it's more or less in the middle. It is, again, it's a little bit further over to one side than the other, but you know, I don't think anything too terrible. So just take this. I'm going to have to cut it here because otherwise it's going to be cutting into that blue one beneath. So yeah, probably another tip is try and leave a bit more space perhaps in amongst your perfume bottles if you're doing something like this. And you know, again, I mean, you don't have to be using the perfume bottles, but whatever it is you're using, you might want to just allow a little bit more space than I have. Now this one, what I might do is actually try and cut this down slightly. Actually, I don't think I need to, because to be honest, height wise, this isn't too bad. So if I stitch around this, you know, round the circle or the oval, it's not going to have too much overlap here, if you see what I mean. And that's, you know, that's what you kind of need, is basically so it's stitched as close to the edge of the actual laminate piece. So that will be fine like that. Now, do we want something in the background of this? Let me just see again what paper I've got here. Oh, I wonder if we could have any of this. Oh, no. Oops. What about that one? Oh, I don't know, you know. Now I'm doing that, I kind of think, oh, perhaps it looks better with just the coffee dyed background, actually. So I might leave that one with just the coffee dyed background. Okay, so the only other one that we've got that potentially, you know, can handle that big oval is this one here. So let's just bring this in again and just see. I'm sorry about that noise outside. It's a big loud motorbike going past. So yeah, perhaps we'll have this. Okay. So again, just take my oval, not my oval, sorry, my index card, and again, just going to cut around it, sort of overlapping a bit. Like that. And then this one, where the printer's not printed borderless, not that it would actually, because I've printed this to a page, but yeah, so like that, fold it in. Okie dokie. Now, again, choose, do we want that side or that side? I was originally thinking this side, but do you know what? Now I'm thinking, ooh, maybe this side will be more dramatic. Yeah, perhaps we'll be more adventurous and do the less predictable thing. So let's go with this side. So pop my piece of paper in there. Oh no, this one is not really going to be big enough, I think. Can you see that? It's literally only got like a really tiny amount overlapping that oval. I'm not sure whether this is going to be quite good enough, but let's give it a try, shall we? So, oh my gosh, that's really up to the wire. Yep. Let's bring it over. Can't actually even see where the fold is. There and there. Have a look. Oh my gosh. Really hard to see, so I don't think I'm going to have done a good job of this. Right. Can you see on there how tiny that edge is that I'm going to have stitched that in? So I don't know whether this is going to be very successful, this one. But again, you know, let's give it a try and see. So that's right up to there. Okay, and yeah, let's take that down there. Now this one, oh my goodness. Take that there. Let's just cut that there. Okay. Put that there. Okay, so providing that I don't mess this up when sewing, then this will be okay. I might, however, end up mucking this up when I'm stitching it because I've really got very little to play with here. So yeah, we'll see when I come to the sewing machine whether I can manage to do that or not. I'm not sure that I will be able to. Do we want some in the background there? Oops. I don't know whether we do. I wonder whether we could actually use some more of this, which is quite thick, but oops. No. Nope. Let's try this one. Again, I don't know, to be honest. I think because this is very, you know, very yellowy, it's quite strong. So I think, again, that might look better just with the plain background. Right, okay, now I'm going to, I think, struggle because I think all the perfume bottles that are left, they're smaller. So they're going to look lost against the oval, except for this one, but then there's not enough room in between here, if that makes sense. So yeah, oh, that's such a shame. Oh, that one's not bad actually. Yeah, this one we could use. So just cut this down. Right, okay, let's match this up against paper. So I have also got some of my vintage desk, which this might look quite nice on. got this, which is the Capital collection. No, I'm going to use it on that vintage desk. That looks very pretty, doesn't it? So again, just going to, oh look, what a nightmare. I'm finding that I've not really got enough. Just trying to keep this to be able to cut that down, but that's ridiculous. Let's just check how this is going to be on there. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? I mean, I guess what I could do is I could have this lengthways, fold it up. Yeah, I wonder if that would work, like if we actually fold it in half. So let's just try. Let's check how this would be. Right, so I'm thinking take this and fold it in half. So let's take this down here. Like that. Okay, right. Decide which way round we want this. So we can fold it up like that. Okay, like that. And then, yeah, this will go here. Right, okay, this is taking more working out than I expected, I must say. Not very good at things like this. So, right, oops, I'll put this in here now. So, yeah, we've got the fold, got the top, got the fold. Where is the fold? Okay, so the fold's about there. Let me check how, oh my goodness. Every time I move this, it kind of like moves on the, in the punch. Right, oh. I mean, there's probably a really good way of doing this, like a really good technique and a really good knack. I clearly am not great with things like this. So yeah, if you know a really good technique, then please do share, because my goodness, I'm not great. Oh, now look, now I've got it right over on that edge. Right. I'm going to have to just go for this because I'm going to be here all day otherwise. Right, fingers crossed. Oh, look at what I've done after all that messing about. I'm really up high on here. So again, I've left it very, very, very close to be able to stitch around that. So I don't know how good I'm going to make that, you know, how good a job I'm going to make of that. I'm going to just cut this like that. Okay, so that that can sit straighter. Okay, definitely I want something in the background of this because it's looking pretty horrible being white. So we could have the purple in there. I think that's a bit much actually. So let's see what else I've got here. Oh, I've got some pink polka dot. That might not really go either, but well, it's quite pretty actually. Should we do that? Or we could have the florally. Oh, I don't know now. I think let's have the florally. I know that sounds weird because I didn't really expect it to be that one, but actually I think the florally is better because it looks more vintage. So otherwise it all looked a bit modern, didn't it? Right, okay. So yeah, let's glue this down. Oops. Okay. Quite a lot of glue, like wherever I think I'm going to roughly cut it. So yeah, let's pop that down there. Stick that down. Okay, right, pop this in. And then the whole thing I want to cut in half, or not in half, but you know, cut along that top edge. So there. Like that. Now we'll probably trim this down further, you know, once I'm actually using it, but once I've actually stitched it. So right, I'm going to of course hoard that because I may use that somewhere else in a, you know, different thing. But yeah, we've got that one. Okay, now the next thing is obviously my much smaller ones, where of course I've now mucked this up by putting them too close together. So what am I going to do with these, I wonder? Well, unless I have sort of very tiny ones. Now I've got some, let me have a look through. I've got some of those little, oh, what do you call them? I can't find those either. Some of those little, no, I can't find those either. That's annoying. Oh, that's really annoying, isn't it? Yeah. Right, well, we might have to leave these for something else. Or we could just tear sort of holes. Let me just see. I have got some other shapes over here. Right, well, I have got another rectangle and I have got another oval. And whether or not these are too small, I don't know. So let's just take a piece of paper and sort of punch them out and just see how this is. So take this. Okay, so this one is a 2-inch oval. So the 2-inch is fine for that one. Not fine for that one. Fine for that. Fine for that. Oh, is it fine for that? Not really. It's a bit squashy, isn't it? Definitely not for that. Not really for that, but fine for that. So we can do 3 more with these. So these are the ones that we can do with these couple of index cards. So let's just punch this one. Okay. Oh my goodness. Right. I'm hoping that that's roughly central. Is that roughly central there? Oh, this is hard to say, to be honest. Maybe a bit over. Let's give it a try. Fingers crossed here. Okay, so I've done it a little bit too far over, but that's fine. Again, what we can do is just take that in slightly more, like that. Okay, like that. Okay, well that's fine. And then, oh, we said these 3, didn't we? So, right, take the blue one. Right, that blue one, can you see there? It's very, very close to that edge. So I'm going to struggle really with this. So what I'm going to have to do is take it right up there. Yeah, so actually, to cut that out, I might as well just put, in fact, the oval behind it, like that. And I'm just going to literally cut it around about there. And it should be the right size. Okay, so pop that there. Okay, so I can then go in on this side. Put that down. Okay, looking good. Right, so again, I'm going to just stitch that around here, like around the edge, and then that will pop in there. So I'm just going to do the next one and then we'll line those in the back. So let's do this punching. So I kind of went like roughly, oh gosh, where did I go? So if I go slightly, yeah, let's do it about there. Oh, slightly more, like, oops, like that. Like that. Okay. Fold this in to where it's roughly like half and half. Like that. Okay. And then going to take my oval, put it here. Do you remember we then sort of cut around there? So I'm just going to take this, cut this down here like that. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this is the most efficient way to do this or anything else. I'm saying, you know, this is the method that, you know, by hook or by crook is kind of working for me. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's working ideally, but, you know, it's working to a point. So, like that. Okay, so just fold that down again. Right, now I can obviously line those with something on the inside. So what have I done with my scrap spin? Oh yeah, put it down on the floor now. Just where I wanted to put it. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so I've got this from my vintage desk, and I'm thinking probably use this bit of blue in the one with the blue perfume. So let's just try that out. Oh my goodness, that looks pretty, doesn't it? I'm just wondering, oh yeah, look, I can have that the right way up. Right, oh my gosh, this is fiddly. Right, okay. So I'm going to glue this down. Okay. I'm not sure where this will go to, so I'm just going to put a bit of extra glue on there. So want it to be where that hole is for the oval, so like that. Okay, now I will probably ink this whole thing on the outside. So because I'm going to be inking it on the outside, I probably then want to ink it on the inside. So I'll ink this quickly now, just because sometimes I forget to do things like that, and then when I ink the outside I feel like it doesn't really match the inside. So, you know, that's just kind of something to bear in mind. This one is going to go, oops, and that's going to go in there. There we go. So yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Right, let's pull in this for the same reason. So again, I will ink this probably on the outside, so we'll just ink it on the inside as well. Do I need to do that with any others? Just probably this one. Oops. So again, just ink it a bit on the inside. Like that. And then this one, I don't need to do those other two, do you remember? Because they were that bright turmeric-y colour. So to be honest, they've got more than enough ink. More than enough colour going on in them. Yeah, like that. Okay, right. Now, just going to now find something to put on the inside of this one. Oh, what paper? What's going to look good on here? Again, I've got some more of that patisserie paper. And this has got cakes on, so... Well, to be honest, you can't see the cakes, so actually that might look pretty good on there. Oops. Just see. No. Yeah, I think like that, or just try it. Yeah, we could even have it like that. Oops. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. That looks fine either way, I think. But yeah, let's just take it here. Actually, just wondering if that needs to go right the way in. Like that. Yeah. So let's just pop that in there. Now, did I see some glue on this for some reason? Oh no. I thought, well, that's weird. I'm not sure where that would have picked up some glue, but it was just a dry string kind of bit of glue, so that's fine. Okay, right. Let's put this down in here then. Okie dokie. Oops. Right. Okay, so looking good. Again, I will ink this, so I'll just ink on the inside as well, so as it just blends in when I've inked the back as well. So that one's going to go in there like that. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous do they look? Absolutely lovely. Now we've just got one more, haven't we, that we said that the oval will fit on, which was this little one, wasn't it? So let's just check this out. So this one's quite tiny. Oh, that's fine actually. Yeah, that is fine. Let's try this. Let's see. Oh, what about that? I don't know, to be honest. That's not quite the right paper. Let's try this. Oh, I don't know now. Oh, I wonder. Oh, right. I wonder if we could have this way round. Right, this is going to be a bit tricky, but let's give this a try. Okay. So, yeah, let's give this one a try. Punching out here. Okay, I don't know how this is going to be, but let's give it a go. So pop that in there. Oops. Half. Oh no. No. Like that. Oh my goodness. Don't think I've really done this long enough, but let's give that a try. Okay, well I can trim it down on the other side. So yeah. Oh gosh, is this going to look okay? Well, it's worth a try, isn't it? So yeah, let's take this here, like that, and oops, and here. Okay, right. Now this one also, actually, I forgot, but this has actually got to come down in width on this side, because as you can probably see, it's pretty wide on that side. So let's take it down there, and then probably about here. Okay, now this one I'm not sure whether this is going to work as a pocket, to be honest. This might just have to be a flat paper clip. I'm not sure. Have to see when I'm stitching this. I'll kind of then fathom it out. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these to the sewing machine, and then I'm going to stitch them all around. Now, just to demonstrate what I'm doing, I'm going to stitch around like the oval, and then depending on the piece, those first ones that I did, I'm going to stitch across the top as well. So I'm going to stitch around the oval, and then I'm going to stitch around the top. Then I'm going to close them up, and I'm going to stitch around 1, 2, 3 sides, and then they would be a top loading pocket. Now, obviously, if I can't manage to do that, like with this one, obviously, that wouldn't be a top loading pocket, I won't do that. Although, going off at a tangent now, I'm thinking this one, what I could do is stitch around here, and then stitch around 3 sides, and then I could probably just cut the top open. So let's just see. So if that's the case, what I want to do is cut this down further so as it's closer to the perfume bottle, like that, so that this is stitched really right where the edge of the acetate is, like that, and then that would probably work okay. Yeah, I think that would work okay. I might then still have to stitch across. We'll see. Right, so I'm going to take those to the sewing machine, and then I'll be back. So hold on. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine. So they all need a bit of tidying up, but I'm quite pleased with how they all look. So just quickly cut the threads off some of these, and we'll just have a look at them. And then we'll just put some finishing touches on some of them. And then I'll just show you how I'm going to finish them off, because obviously, instead of having like the paperclip hooked over, I didn't want the paperclip showing through the, you know, the window element. So I think what we're going to have to do is just attach the paperclip onto the back. So my initial kind of idea was to actually hook the paperclip inside, but I don't want the paperclip showing. So yeah, I think what we're going to have to do is actually just attach the paper clip to the backs like that. Now on the ones with the background paper, what you could have done was obviously put the paper clip inside underneath the decorative paper, if you see what I mean. The only thing with that, and the reason why I decided not to do that, was because then they're going to be tricky to stitch on the sewing machine. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. If you'd have put the paper clip, oh my goodness, if I can do it, there we go, in there, obviously that's what I'm talking about where you can see it. But if you'd have put it behind the decorative paper, which you could have done, I just worried that that would be in the way when I was stitching it on the sewing machine. But again, you know, you may well be a lot better at using your sewing machine than I am, because I'm not the, you know, not the best. So, you know, by all means, obviously experiment and kind of see how you get on, because you might actually find that that's, you know, a better method for you. So let's just grab some paper here that we can use to reinforce this. So what I will do, in fact, I can use some of this. So if I just cut this down to a straight edge like that. Okay, so we can then put the paper clip over here like that. And then obviously decide where you want to have your paper clip. So, you know, whether you want it a top loading paper clip, you could have a side loading one. So, I mean, that's another bonus actually of having the paper clip not just hooked over, because you can then actually kind of like change the directions of these. So let's do one as a side loading. So just trim that down. Now, I personally will be using hot glue for this, and again, it's up to you what you use. The bonus of obviously using a hot glue is this is going to be glued down instantly. If you're obviously going to be using like a wet glue, you're going to have to press it down quite a bit to go over like the lumps and bumps of the paper clip. So I personally would recommend using a hot glue. So we're just going to, for some reason I keep having to like pump my glue a bit before it comes out. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it's a bit annoying. There we go. Okay, so tuck it up to the edge, because ideally you want the paper clip like sitting on the edge, if you see what I mean. You don't necessarily want the paper clip like in the middle, because then your paper clip would be like overhanging the page. So tuck it up against the edge, so like that. And then we'll do one or two as like a top loading paper clip. So let me just grab another one of those ovals and grab a paper clip. Now this might be too big for this one. Oh no, that's okay. I don't know why, but I always just picture things different size to what they actually are. So just again trim that down like that. Oops, like that. Now this one, obviously it's that index card, so I will just ink around this because it's looking a bit stark white really. So just ink around there. Oops, ink around there like that. And then again we're going to just trim down this piece like that. Pop our paper clip over. Okay, and then just going to take this down here like that. And then this one, I'm going to just put it at the top. And again, you want it snug up really to the top, preferably. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you don't, you're going to then have a sort of vulnerable point of your paper clip. So, you know, it's okay if you're paper clipping like onto a pocket, for example. But if you were paper clipping something onto a page, then really you don't want your paper clip overhanging the page, because it's going to get potentially creased, you know, and sort of like damaged. So I always think put the paper clip up to the edge of the actual pocket, or of the paper clip. So that's those couple. Now I'm going to just quickly show you what I did as well with, you know, the last one that we did where I said, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, whether I'll seal it shut. So I didn't seal it shut. What I've done instead, I just stitched it along the edge. So instead of stitching it across the top here to make the pocket at the top, I stitched it on the edge. So you've got then a side loading pocket for that one. Now this one, obviously you've got the decorative paper on the inside, and then the outside has got just the coffee dyed paper. Oops. So what you could do, you know, if you've just got like coffee dyed paper there, what you could do is you could stamp on it to decorate it, or you could obviously add other things. So we'll decorate this one in a minute, I think. There we go. Right. Okay, right, so let's decorate a couple now to just demonstrate. So let me just see what stamps I've got here in my stamps tray. So I've got, what have I got? Oh, I've got my, right, I've got my labelly stamps, I think. Let me just have a look, hold on. Okay, so I dug out a corner stamp. Now this is from the corner stamp set that I got these in my shop. Whether or not there's any left, I'm not sure, but definitely these were in my, on my website shop. So if you wanted to have a look, they, you know, they're on there if there's any left. So I'm just going to stamp this off. I like to always stamp off whenever I'm using a stamp for the first time. After a while, I like to try and stamp it off onto some paper first, just to make sure that, you know, it's soaking in the ink nicely. So really gorgeous corner, isn't it? And I'm just going to stamp it first of all like this, and we'll just see whether I could, you know, stamp every corner or not. As you can see, I mean, it's taking up a lot of the rim, so I'd have a lot of overlap if I were to stamp all over. So I'm not sure whether I will or not. I mean, I quite like it just with the two corners, to be honest. If I wanted to stamp over all of it, what I could do is just cover up, you know, where it's going to overlap. So if I just tear my book page down, so take this like that, and I'll just put it like to here. Oops, just like that. And then here like that. And again, I've kind of gone a bit at the diagonal so that if it's got rim, it could then sort of like overlap a bit, so like that. And then it's more of a seamless kind of pattern, if you see what I mean. So again, just going like that on the diagonal, and then there on that diagonal like that, and then we can just stamp in there like that. Oops. Okay, so I mean, you can probably see I've mucked that last one up. You know, it's not even stamped down in the corner. Personally, I don't really mind that. You know, it doesn't really bother me. I think it looks kind of nice instead of being all really uniform and really perfect. I quite like that sort of look, which is just as well, because, you know, that's kind of how things often end up when I've done them. But yeah, so, you know, up to you kind of how you do things. And then obviously just think around the actual edge to make it a bit more finished off, really. And then of course I can't now leave it without a bit of lace and things like that, so we'll just quickly snip that off there. And then got this butterfly. I mean, this butterfly is really a little bit on the dark side, but I'm just using things that are laying around, so we'll just, yeah, we'll just go for that anyway. So I quite like it there. And then I think let's have a little bit of lace. Everything's always better with a bit of lace, isn't it? So I mean, I don't necessarily want to kind of like have the lace everywhere, you know, maybe just a little tiny bit, so like that. And then maybe we'll ink the lace up, because obviously this is that dark sort of turmeric-y coloured paper, so I feel like it would be a little bit out of place if the lace is just quite white. So we could have it like that, or, you know, maybe a bit of lace up the top. No, I quite like it down the bottom, I think. So we'll just pop the lace in there like that. Oops, like that. And then we'll just pop the butterfly down like that. Okay, and then I think let's have a center in the butterfly. And then, I mean, we could even potentially have a bit of bling on here as well. So I mean, for such a small piece, it's having a lot of stuff on it, isn't it? But there, and then, yep, let me just get a little bit of bling here. And again, I do have the trim packs on my website as well, so if you wanted to have a look over there, like that. Yeah, so let's have that little bit of bling. Oops, like that. Oh my goodness, I mean, how cute is that? It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Now, I haven't even glued the paperclip on the back of this one yet, but, you know, I can obviously do that in a minute. But how cute does that look? I mean, you could even put, like, some little streamers hanging off of this if you wanted, you know, but it's quite nice on its own. To be honest, the other thing that I just suddenly thought that you could do with these is you could make them a pocket on a pocket. Now, I'm not sure what I've got here. Okay, so let's just have a look. So I've got some collage paper here, and you could even glue these onto like a background if you didn't want to make paper clips. So this could then be a pocket, you know, on a page like that, and then you could have this as another pocket on the pocket. So you'd have a pocket here. You could glue this down as a tuck spot, so you could have then, you know, pocket there, and then this would be another pocket on its own. Now, just to sort of finish this off really quickly, you know, just something like that. And how gorgeous does that look? Let me just ink this up. I'm going to actually make this into a pocket because I actually think this looked really nice. And weirdly, I mean, I just grabbed that in, you know, it just happened that went. And weirdly, I mean, I wouldn't have put those papers together in the first place, but they look gorgeous, don't they? So yeah, we could just have that up there, that there. How gorgeous is that? Do we want to have this inked? Let's just see. I don't know now. Yeah, I think we probably do. I don't know. I think it looks okay either way, to be honest. So yeah, let's just glue this down just to show you. So just on like two sides. Like that. Okay, and then just a little bit of lace at the top, or even actually we could have some sari silk at the top instead of the lace, to be honest. That might be even nicer. Just grab a glue stick. Okay, right. So yeah, let's just pop some glue across there. Like that. Okie dokie. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? So, I mean, I've gone off at a bit of a tangent doing this one because obviously it's not a paperclip, but isn't that just so nice? So you've got the pockets here, there, you've got the tuck spot here, and then when you glued it down, you could glue it on three sides and you'd have then a side loading pocket, or you could just do it top and bottom, have it as a belly band or something like that. So definitely, you know, lots of different choices that you can make with these. Let's do this one quickly. So again, I've got that lace that we just obviously coffee dyed there. Let's just glue that down here across the top. We didn't coffee dye it, no, we just dress inked it, didn't we? Yeah, I'm forgetting what I'm doing now. So that can just go on there, and then just slip that out there. Maybe a little bit of bling on here. Oops. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh gosh. Like that. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? So you've got your top loading pocket there, and obviously it's a side loading paper clip, you know, a side sliding paper clip. So very cute, isn't it? Now I might even have a little flower that we could pop on here as well. So maybe, yeah, maybe just have a little flower or something on there as well. Might even ink that up so it matches the, you know, more grungy look of the turmeric-y type paper and the distress inked ribbon. There we go. Oh, I mean, how gorgeous is that? Absolutely love that. So this one, let's just quickly decorate this one up as well. So again, we've got the top loading pockets here, which now, oh, glued that down when I put the paper clip on, so that wasn't great. Oh my goodness, hang on. Let me just slide something in there to open that up. There we go. So you've got your top loading pocket there. And then let's just pop on maybe a flower. Okay. Yeah, that looks really cute, doesn't it? And then let's just snip off the... Oops. Not very good, was it? Oh, I'm making a bit of a mess of that. And then we could just have a little bit of lace or something. Yeah, I think at the top. So yeah, let's just pop that down like that. Okie dokie. Snip that off. And then we'll just pop this down. Oh, how cute does that look? Oh, hang on, hang on. Okay, like that. And then again, let's just have a bit of bling with that, because everything's better with bling. I mean, just life's better with bling, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah, always cheers you up if you see a bit of bling anywhere. So yeah, let's just put that on there. How gorgeous is that one? There we go. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? Right, just quickly before we finished, because obviously I'm aware that I've been filming for quite a while now, but let's just quickly do this one, just so we've got a slightly different colour one. So yeah, this one being purple is quite different, isn't it? So yeah, let's quickly do this. Just again, snip out all those threads that are hanging from here. Oops, have I got them all? Right, so I'll just quickly ink around the edge of here. Because if you remember, I inked the purple on the inside. So just to kind of like be consistent. So let's take that. And then what we'll do is, because I might have some little purple flowers in here, I think. Yep. So what we could do is just, right, I don't know what this will look like grunged up, but let's see. Yeah. So we could just have like one or two little flowers on here. Look quite cute, don't they? Wonder if we could have one of these purple ones. Oh, they're quite nice, yeah. So actually, let's have them like that, sort of round the same side. And then should we have this going across the top? Now again, let me just see whether it looks better grunged up or not. Yeah, I quite like it grunged up. So just going to again pop the lace down across the top. Okay, like that. And then yeah, let's just quickly pop these down. Oops, not sure what way up that flower's supposed to go. It's always a bit hard to see that way. And do you know what, I weirdly think that that flower could go either way. I think it's probably supposed to be the other way, but I don't know. It looks quite nice either way. So yeah, let's pop it down like that. And then this one, pop this one down there like that. Just snip this out. Okie dokie. And then again, let's take the bling, this little bit of bling here, just put that on, and there's my oval. So that's the only oval I've got. Why does this one look really small? That's weird, isn't it? Oh, hold on. There we go. I thought, well, that's weird. I had bigger ones than that. I'd actually thrown the ovals away. I know it's unlike me to throw things away, but I was trying to be really good and not hang on to things unnecessarily. But yeah, then decided, oh, actually I could make use of those. So let's just bin these. Not bin these. Not bin these. I didn't even want to bin the ovals in the end. Oh, what am I talking about, honestly? So yeah, pop the paper clip on. Just trim the sides. Okie dokie. Right. So we didn't put the bling on yet. Just a bit of bling down there. Okay. Like that. Right, and then this we'll do as another top loading one, I think. Oh dear. Like that. Again, just using my hot glue. You know, that's just nice and secure then for that paper clip. Like that. Okay. There we go. There we go. How gorgeous are they? They look so cute, don't they? So yeah, just a different idea there to use your perfume bottles. I think they're all like really, really cute. And yeah, you could obviously decorate them up with different bits and bobs. I mean, would you believe we've resisted putting butterflies or anything like that on them, but definitely you could kind of put some butterflies on and things like that. So let me know which is your favourite one. Do you like the idea of the pocket with the pockets? I think that's really quite cute. And yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate a big thumbs up for this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much then. Bye.